First opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Oh, he bowls over him. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. A good start offensively. 15 yards on the game's initial play.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
That's a very nice game there. Confidence-building run. Love the execution up front. And the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. First down, they go right back to Pierce. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. He'll drop to throw. This will be taken in by Michael Pittman. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 36. A solid gain of 15 yards and the sticks move. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 36. Now it's Jennings. And able to get this to the 24-yard line. They began the play at the 12. It's also a pickup of 12 for the first down. And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. They run again with Jennings. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? leverage, athleticism. They created some nice space for him.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. On 2nd down, here's Pierce. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And this will be play number 8 of the opening drive. It's 3rd and short. Pierce will try to pick it up. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Looking to throw. That's going to be complete to his tight end, Everett. And the Saints are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door. 1st and goal. They'll run here with Pierce. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Dameon Pierce, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Saints get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. Throwing to start the drive. Anthony. He'll get this complete to Jalen Reagor. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. A first carry here for Kene Nwangu. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That's a 12-yard gain now on back-to-back plays. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on 1st down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
On 1st and 10, Anthony. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. They had 2 straight 1st downs, now a gain of 9 to set up 2nd and 1. This defense for the Saints, terrific last week in the season opening victory.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
On second down, here's DeWalger. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll go right back to DeWalger. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now this offense hoping to avoid the 0-2 start. They trail, but they've got a 1st and 10 here. Now a give running right, it's Cook. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Called it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. And now whistles and a flag up here. So the penalty erases their earlier loss. Now it's 2nd and 8. Handoff right side to Wangu. And some room to maneuver. Touchdown, Vikings. Kene Nwangu, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from drawing level. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. That one on the guard, Cesar Ruiz. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Pierce now up the middle. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. And a little careless there, Charles, on that carry.
And it's not just having two hands on the ball.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long. Pierce takes it straight ahead, and he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Stiff-armed him. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. First and 10, it's Pierce. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. The Saints at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener. Now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
That's good for another Saints.
They go again with Pierce. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Now a handoff for Pierce. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There's absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And they get the football, but not much on the return here as he stopped at the 7-yard line.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. First play's a run with Nwangu. Room here to run. Touchdown, Vikings. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Badgley on for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game.
Makes the score Vikings 14, Saints 7.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cost.
He's got a man complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown score or yardage?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Up the middle, Nwangu. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And that's complete to the right side. It's Allen. He's going to pick up the first down and then some. Big strides. Look at him go. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. A great play there. 67 yards as they have taken the lead. Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14.
Makes the score Vikings 21, Saints 14.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
2nd and 6. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one. And they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception. Tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one.
And room there to work it inside the 25. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Another run now for Nwangu. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense as they get it right at the 30-second mark of this first half. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on 3rd down. Anthony. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Badgley able to punch this one through. And the lead works its way up to 10, 24-14. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation, either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Back to throw here. He's got a man, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half.
For us Saints. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On play action, they'll throw. Finding Williams once more, complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Fields this way up at the 17. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in the second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see one or two guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
Touchdown, Vikings! So what was already a game to remember becomes even more so as that touchdown run, a lengthy one, takes him over 200 yards now for the game.
And I love the fact that to get over 200, it took a pretty good sprint, didn't it? I mean, a lot of times you get 1 or 2 yards and, oh, he's over 200 yards. But that really put an exclamation point on the game he's having. Fantastic. A lot of fun to watch.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to go up top again. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Brandon Jones picking it off. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
Tyrann Mathieu there to make the tackle. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
In motion left goes a tight end. Straight ahead, here's Nwangu. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Now a give running right, Nwangu. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. 233 yards rushing for him now on the afternoon as he just continues to pummel this defense.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Not a whole lot there on 1st and goal, and that's what you're looking for defensively. You'll certainly live with giving up just a yard or 2 in this situation.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. Off the option, he'll try and run with it. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
Well, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. On the run is Nwangu. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. Badgley able to knock this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So they got the turnover, started with great field position, but in the end, the defense able to hold firm, and they only get 3 out of it.
And I like what you said right there. That defense able to hold firm, backed up into the shadow of their own end zone. The goalpost right behind them. They had to make sure they didn't give up the 6. And, boy, they came through in a big way. To them, even though they gave up 3, that's a win for their side. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to... Pierce has it knocked loose, and the Vikings pick up the football. Gets past, and they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And they're going to start in a hole as he's brought down at the 11.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual. It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
On 3rd down, here's Pierce. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. They'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Brandon Jones picking it off. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game. But that's something right there. Still in the 3rd quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Handoff here to Nwangu. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
On 3rd down, Anthony. Touchdown! From 21 yards away. And the Vikings get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. So, Charles, the bad taste from that opening week loss, that's just a memory now. This has been a very strong performance as they score once again.
Yeah, I know it's only week 2, but you're exactly right, because this team felt like they let one get away in the opener. And not only were they determined to not let the same thing happen here, they knew that they had to correct a bunch of things. So everything went wrong in game 1. They took care of business with it in game 2.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
They'll look to throw here. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. He'll look to throw. And this time he's got the hookup. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Swings this one out wide for Pierce. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Again, he'll drop to throw. Throw right side is into the hands of his tight end, Everett. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Running it out of the gun with Pierce. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
He's brought down at the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 9. Brings up
second and 1. Tries the left side and finds Olave. Touchdown, Saints. Chris Olave. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Saints get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead drops from 34 down to 27. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fields this way up at the 17. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They could definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it, and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to get them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
To throw on 3rd down, Anthony. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Pierce will try to pick it up. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 126 yards for him on the ground now on 18 carries. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 46. They'll set up to throw. That's complete to the tight end, Everett. He's got room at the 30. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This is caught. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They can go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Here's Pierce. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Again, it's Pierce. But he will lose yardage here as they knock him back to the 3. 3rd and goal. Try to make that scoreboard at least a little more respectable. They'll run for it with Pierce. And this is going to depend on the spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. It'll be a gain of 2, and speaking of 2s, it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They're looking at a 4th and goal here as they search for a late score. They get this out quickly to the left side. Touchdown! A great effort there. Taking it in. And the Saints' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Extra point forthcoming. And the lead is down to 20. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. A short kick taken at the 18. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it out past the 30. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. That good for 19 and a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
They'll go right back to Nwangu. The tackle by Quincy Williams. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
Now a second timeout called for by the defense as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Back to throw. Anthony, he's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted.
Picked off by Alontae Taylor. And the Saints are going to get the football back at their own 17. So they tried to take the deep shot there, but this defense up to the task.
And a lot of times when you air a ball out like this, if it does get intercepted, there's going to be a lot of space out there to set up a return. And remember, you've got 5 big offensive linemen out there playing on their feet in open space. Not a skill most of them possess.
And now here is another interception.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now it looks like he'll throw here. And that one drops to the ground. Incomplete. Clock stops here just inside of 20 seconds, 19 left.
They're certainly not letting up on the pressure in this one, and oftentimes you hear this expression, all gas, no break from defenses. But in this case, it's the offense still throwing the football up big in the 4th quarter.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Anthony. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
On 3rd down, Anthony.
Got an open man finding Jefferson.
And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Back to throw again. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. To throw on second down, Anthony. That's going to be caught. And the Vikings are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for the Vikings, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll have another road date next week with the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs.